My name is Cheyenne Foote. My Indian name is Has Strong Medicine Woman. I'm 68 now. I'm from Poplar. I'm a Fort Peck Sioux from here, Northern Cheyenne. I'm the oldest of 9 from my mother, but there's 13 total, all of us. We have different dads, but all of us are together. Being the oldest, if you can't get mom, go see sister mom. That's what I was called. I started dancing after I learned how to walk with my dad. My dad was a singer on the Cheyenne Res. So growing up with singers and gore dancers, I learned their ways, and I do miss gore dancing. I went to high school in Canton, South Dakota. It was a private high school through the Lutheran Church. Everybody went to Flandreau or Pier, but I didn't want to go. All my brothers and sisters were there. So when I finished there, I was 17. I had enough credits to graduate when I was a junior, but my brother was going to be a senior next year, and him and I had never been separated. So I stayed because I had knowledge of typing. When I was a 4th grader in California, I taught typing for those coming in. The high school that I went to, man, it was so beautiful. I happened to be the only native to represent all of us. Every country sent us 2 of their students. Every state in bigger cities would send 2 of theirs. And I had Minneapolis, some from in that community, but they never graduated. They would come for so long and leave us. Their life was different from the city than ours from the res, but I was happy I grew up in both worlds. I grew up in San Francisco, Los Angeles, all the way up and down the coast. Got to see things that people here never got to see. Guess what? I used to get sick at Disneyland. You see those characters every week. If you didn't go with parents, you went with the church. So after a while you get... And the money we earned, we would save for skateboards, roller skates. And, Dad, can we take these back to the res? Yeah. We bring all of our stuff back to our relatives here. Come on, we got new roller skates, or we'll make some. We got new bikes. They're used bikes, but they're, to us here on the res, they're new. Come off the big hill coming down in Fort Peck. I lived right up on top. You go to Fort Peck, you go on the bottom road, you look to the right. We had 3 log houses there. I got to help build when I was little, mud it. And during those years, you didn't need a car. We rode horses, Dusty Mins, Russell Denny. I was the only girl in that area, so I was a tomboy. Either I learned to play with them or play by myself, and which I didn't like. Animals, we had a farm up there. We had horses, cows, chickens, geese, turkeys, everything. We even had pets like gophers. We had pet gophers. Feed them commodity peanuts. We had pets. We learned to fish. I learned how to do drums when I was little. I learned how to tan when I was little. I learned how to get the heck out of the way when they say tornado. A lot of kids will say where. But when you are told, and I survived 2 of them. So during those times when tornado, I heard Grandpa singing, and just like that, it went around us. So I know power of prayer does work. Second time, I was in Colorado Springs at a powwow. 4 women came to the center and they sang. Tornado flew over us and wiped out Colorado Springs on the other side. Nobody got hurt where we was. Nowadays, people are running towards the storms. They gave us a reason why. I have 2 uncles named Lightning and Thunder. During this time of the year, I hear them, I go outside, I'm here, Uncle, I'm still here. I'll tell the people, we need the rain, we need the crops, we need the water. Life can't live without water. During the times when we have these protests for water, I might be old, but I ain't giving up. I'm a water walker. I walked across the whole res 5 times. Yeah, 5 times I walked across the res from one side to the other. Every time I passed or someone passed me, I'd pray, give them safe journey and let them go back to their loved ones. Sometimes people, when they go, they're such in a hurry that they might not even make it. During winter time, that's what happens to a lot of them. They don't tell where they're going. They gotta remember that we're not in charge. All this is in charge. We only here for a short time, and it's up to us to take care of it. To all you kids, get up, wash your face, comb your hair, change your clothes, then go into the kitchen. Help your parents out. When I lived in Fort Peck, they would wake us up. We go feed our animals first, get our gear on, go outside, feed them, come back in, breakfast is ready, change our clothes, school clothes, jump on the bus. When I talked in Brockton, how many of you guys wash your face? A lot of them didn't. Poplar kids, same way. I see elders get knocked over on the bleachers. I would stop them. When you guys were little, we walked with you. We didn't rush you. Now is the time to pay them back. Walk with them. Don't knock them over. When you guys have money, remember how much money the parents spent on you. You have a little bit, go buy mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. Say you got ice cream. You'd be surprised on old folks. They'll really hug you. I've seen one old lady smother a boy for ice cream. Come on now. We're all human beings. We start off just like you. Learning stages. You learn to sit. You learn to crawl. You learn to walk. During those times, you have people holding you, walking with you, guiding you. One thing you gotta remember, we have 2 of these. We only have 1, but this guy gets us in trouble. We have 2 of these. I remember my grandpa said, "My girl, we're gonna go hunting." And that's all I needed to see. I never once said a word. Come back, and he said, "I got something for you." He made me a bow and arrow. He said, "Next time, go rabbit hunting." Yeah, that was a big thing because Grandpa always made us homemade toys. Whatever we had around us, we appreciated it. The things nowadays you buy with money. I learned to tan when I was young, so through college, I got better and better at it. Couple hunters across the river said, "Hey, we got 4 elks. You got 2 and I got 2. Can you help us out?" And I'm looking like, I need a shed. So I said, "I'll do all 4. I'll let you each pick 1. The other 2 are mine." "Yeah, okay, all right." So they picked them out. And that other guy, he said, "I heard you say you need a shed." He had a guy built it, bring it to me. So I got buffalo hides in there, deer hides. And every time somebody says, "I need your help," let's go, because what I learned, I can't take with me. I will share it with anybody that wants to learn. Now the hunters are doing buffaloes. I've done buffaloes. So I'm ready to teach whoever knows, want to learn. I even got the scrapers. I will even show them how. So our lost art isn't lost. And I was happy all the old guys had faith in me to tell me at that time. I did hear, Uncle. I want to tell you, the ones that are starting in school and stuff, don't give up. When my father died, I was raised on the Cheyenne reservation where we didn't have to speak English. All I knew was the Northern Cheyenne tongue. When I came up here after Dad died, there was no one to communicate with. I was like, how would you say, in a whole different world. People were looking at me weird. and pointing and frowning. In my head, I used to say, what did I do, Dad? But he was gone. So it was hard. And then being a girl with always telling them, what is she saying? What does she want? What is she pointing to? You know what? When they didn't realize, all they had to do was just look and watch my motions. I picked up the sign language from the old people as to what they wanted when somebody didn't understand them. So when I came here, I got put in the first grade in Poplar School. Got put in a room, in a desk and a chair, and that was it. Nobody came in, checked on me. Lunch I could smell. Oh, my stomach was hurting. But nobody came and checked. Finally, I opened the door and I had to use the bathroom, and I seen kids going in one room, going in another, so I snuck in and out of the school, found the bathroom, went right back to that room again. At the end of the day, I hear kids leaving, so I got in, jumped in line, got on the bus, and I didn't know where I was going. Nobody understood me. So I found where I was at, jumped off and started walking home. Now, I had to learn English. When my uncle, Alvin, he said, I'm gonna stay, he told my dad, and help her when I was little, before Dad passed. I was learning English just through the radio, on the jingles, the commercials. I used to sing them. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. The teacher said she does know how to speak. So a music teacher came, and she helped me. She would sing what I needed to learn. Then after a while, I would not listen to her, but just say the words. Then they start giving me books with pictures in it, and that was awesome, man. That was awesome. Then I was able to figure it out. Well, when somebody said that she's not going to learn, that put a thing in my head. I challenged it as a young girl. I'm going to learn what they're asking me. I'm going to learn what they're saying to me. I want to hear what those words mean. So throughout my life, every time somebody would say, oh, she ain't going to be able to do it, she's not smart enough. But they didn't realize I was also learning by listening to them and how their reactions were. Well, I went to college, I became a stenographer. Somebody that doesn't know English, I worked in the courts for a while. And then I went to the fire department and started working there. Then I went to Honeywell's and worked there as a secretary reception. So I furthered my education, and people will say, well, she's too small, she's not going to be able to do that. I worked on houses. I got up on the roof. I worked on the floor for the carpeting. I did things people would say, she's not going to be able to make it. Hey, I trained CEOs down at A&S Industries. You can tell me. 22 years I worked down there with the government. I learned from the beginning. I worked my way up. She ain't gonna make it. She's don't know military. I grew up with military individuals. My dad, he was Navy and Army. My uncles, all the young mans. I grew up in the military. So they gave me a trial run. They didn't realize when I worked in Denver, I worked for the Levi company with a double needle. So when I started off over here, they put a machine in front of me and hey, you only got one needle, what am I gonna do with this? You use two? Yeah. Read my resume. So the big guy's reading it and he's going through, and at the very bottom, a mean cup of coffee, cowboy style. I knew men have to get up early in the morning, they have to get their bodies going. That was at the bottom. He said, she's hired. I didn't know what I was going to be hired for, but I said, thank you anyway. My first week, I was a sewer. Second week, I was a lead person. Third week, I was supervisor. Fourth week, they were training me to be management. This little girl, she worked her butt up and out. I worked my way out. I didn't brown nose. I didn't kiss no butt. I didn't take money. I earned it. I challenged a lot of them. That challenge said, well, you must have brown nosed. I said, no. Do you see me in a brand new car? I got a bike. Come on, I'll give you a ride. I would ride home at night with a flashlight on my bike. Fresh air, I just got off work. Nobody's around me. I'd go home. Put my bike away and stuff. I had a car. A brand new pickup, but I was diagnosed being diabetic. Hung my keys up, walked, changed my diet. I went to the medicine lodge one year. Heard stories of all these people being diabetic and losing their body parts. Pretty soon people were giving me material and tobacco. I didn't realize it, but my Auntie Vera, she put her shawl around me. Colleen came up to me and she said, "Sister, our next year, come and dance with me." That's all it took. I've been in the lodge for a long time. I think I danced with almost everybody for their first 4 years, and then they would go on. But I had so many brothers and sisters there. We all grew up together in the lodge. Seeing them on Facebook, man, it's just like, I miss that family. So whatever you guys do, learn your ways, keep it, and share it. The teachings I got were from older grandpas and grandmas. I wasn't raised with mom and dad. Mom and dad worked. We were raised with older ones. I learned to cook. I learned to skin rabbits. I learned how to skin deer, let it cool, pull it off after it's gutted, and roll the deer right out of its hide. I was good at it. Never had to really work at it. Then Grandpa said, "Let's go make drums." I learned how to do that too. So even though I was a girl, I gave it a good challenge. My grandpa used to always say, "That one there, she probably outdo you boys pretty soon." She's part boy anyway, so fastest climber in the trees to get stuff done. She's faster runner. But when people put you down, it made me challenge more. I would push myself more. The only thing I didn't really want to do is like when they say swim across the river. I lost relatives there. I won't go across where they lost themselves. So I would always tell them, "I'll wait for you on this side, or I'll watch your kids." Even though you guys all have kids, one time or another, your kids all come to me. I had a daycare, which I had taken away from me through political things, but the tribes needed it. So, being the oldest, I knew what to do. Tribes had a good daycare going. Enos got back on, I got back hired on, I got the phone call from the government. No management. I didn't know what to do. "Ma'am, I need you to say everything back to me again on the tape recorder so I can give it to my bosses." Desert storm happened. I took the phone call. I couldn't tell no one. I prayed. Give me the guidance. I need to know who I need to turn to. All these people are going to be coming back and working here. Pretty soon I was getting good warm feeling. I said, "All right, okay, I know what to do." I called the next guy in line and he said, "Do you know what to do?" I said, "Yes, get started." So I worked 2 hours after, got hold of everybody I needed, brought them in. We had 500 employees working for Anus Industries, Poplar. The reservation was booming. I say everybody had money in their pockets, cars in their driveways, housing had payments. I mean, we had it made, but it hurted a lot of us mothers because what we were doing was to protect our families from the wars. We knew where all those canisters were going to go to feed our military out there. We knew those camouflage nettings were going to protect our military guys out in the field.
They had 3 different kinds, Arctic, desert, and woodland, 3 different colors.
And it was up to us, and I would always tell, imagine if this was your son or daughter that was out in the field and they needed it for protection. I want you to do a good job. And that's all I asked, and they did. We had the most populated reservation with that military. So after it closed up and everything and I retired, I got asked to travel with Lewis and Clark. That was awesome. I got to tell people about Fort Peck reservation and the Northern Cheyenne people, and those that I learned from, I got to tell stories. Older people would tell me stories so that I can pass them on, in which I was doing at every school that I came to. At the end I would always tell them, now you are the storyteller, because if I'm gone, you're gonna have to remember these. We don't write them down. It's in here and in here. So remember when I tell you these stories. So here I am in Lewis and Clark, traveling. Pompey Pillar was my last stop. I climbed up to the top and I said morning prayers, and I didn't see when I was climbing. But on the way down, I turned around, I heard a lady saying, wow, look at this. My last name is Foote. On that plaque, it says the land was donated from the family, the Foote family. Well, I got hold of elders that I could find left, and they said, my girl, the land was there, yeah, it belonged to us at that time. Military came in, they took it. But then I smiled back at them and I said, but we got our names on it, Pompey Pillar. We got our name on it. Yeah, it's good land too, huh, my girl? I said, yes. The river runs right by it. Beautiful trees. I was happy I was there. I said, when I go, I said, I want my ashes spread out there. Pompey Pillar. I said, that'd be awesome.